from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At that time, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a Canaanite woman of that district came out and called, "Son of David, have pity on me. My daughter is tormented by a demon." Jesus gave her no word of response. The disciples came up and repeatedly said to him, "Send her away, for she keeps calling out after us." Jesus said in reply, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." The woman then prostrated herself before Jesus with the plea, "Help me, Rabbi." Jesus said in reply, "It is not right to take the food of the children and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Please, Rabbi, but even the dogs eat the scraps that fall from the table." Then Jesus said to her, "O woman, great is your faith. Let it be done as you wish." And the woman's daughter was healed from that hour. The good news of salvation. In the beginning of the Harry Potter series, the evil Voldemort arrives at the home of a young magical family with the intent to kill them. When death is imminent, Harry's mother casts a spell that protects her baby boy. Professor Dumbledore explains to a teenage Harry that the reason why her spell saved his life is because of the depth of her love, a mother's love. There is nothing more fierce than a mother's love. A Chicago woman sat beside her two young sons, all crying, near the casket of her 15-year-old. Michael had been walking home from the candy store and was killed by a stray bullet. She begged for funds so her son could have a headstone in this cemetery. She wanted him to be remembered. Portland mothers locked arms to protect the protesters against the batons of federal troops. The mothers themselves were beaten, tear-gassed, and arrested. They stayed in the line of danger for their children and all the children of the city. There is nothing more fierce than a mother's love. In 1955, Mamie Till held her son's broken body after 14-year-old Emmett offended a cashier in Mississippi. He was brutalized and lynched. Mrs. Till opened his coffin and her heart for the world. She wanted the world to see what they had done to her baby. Her fierce courage to stand both vulnerable and strong in the face of racism ignited the civil rights movement. Seeing Emmett offered grim determination to John Lewis, Rosa Parks, and many others. It all began with a mother's love. There is nothing more fierce. We get a taste of a mother's fierceness in today's gospel. A Canaanite, a Gentile, and an outsider to the Jewish people, as well as a woman having no societal standing without a man, approaches Jesus. She breaks social norms of gender and religion. I can only imagine not only the courage, but the desperation that motivated her to be so bold. The liturgy team was a bit confused by Jesus' behavior, but really, he is just walking along, minding his own business. In fact, the gospel says he has withdrawn to this region to get away from the Jews, to get away from people. Jesus has been busy preaching and teaching and healing. I imagine he is tired and wants some well-earned peace and quiet. And behold, a word used to signify the intensity of that moment. This Gentile woman cries out to Jesus, "Have pity on me, save my daughter." Jesus tries to ignore her. It doesn't work. The disciples encourage him to tell her to go away. Jesus dismisses the woman, reminds her that she is not a Jew and her daughter is not his job. Jesus seems to have forgotten the fierceness of a mother. Like water finding its way through rocks, this woman, this mother, will not be deterred. She begs for scraps, for anything to save her child. She sees the good in Jesus and invites him into a new way of being, to go beyond himself. It works. Jesus allows his healing energy to touch the child. It is not just her great faith, but her ferocity that brings her baby girl health. There is nothing more fierce than a mother's love. The first and second readings tee up the gospel beautifully. The liturgy team gravitated to Isaiah's proclamation that God's house is the house of prayer for all people, not just the ones like us. And in Romans, it is the Gentiles who have wisdom and faith. How about if we use our spiritual imaginations and rethink the gospel passage? What if we recast the Canaanite woman as God the Mother? And what if we put ourselves in the place of Jesus? So, we are walking through our lives, stressed and tired from our many duties and responsibilities. We are looking forward to a little R&R. Then behold, Mother God disturbs us and calls to us. Look at my children, your world has cast away. The trans woman who is beaten because who she is made someone feel uncomfortable. The neighbor who is annoyingly talkative because she is so very lonely. The man wearing a turban and the woman wearing a hijab. The bi and multiracial children who don't know which box to check. And let's not forget the immigrant family desperate for food and shelter and safety. Remember my beloved homeless and the drug addicted and those with mental illness and so many more. Notice them, love them, heal them. We try to ignore God, but she doesn't go away. She is not put off so easily. Our friends tell us, oh, there are agencies and not-for-profits. Let's just keep going. God persists. We say, they're really not our responsibility. Mother God bests us by reminding us that she, in fact, is the one who has given us everything. She smiles as she sees the good in us. She knows she can transform us by loving us. There is nothing more fierce than a mother's love. In June, Sincere Gaston was strapped in his car seat when his mom, driving her van, got caught in gunfire. She stopped at a gas station, got out and screamed for someone to help her 20-month-old baby who had been shot. Please, someone, save my child. People ran to her aid, but the child did not live. God, our mother, cries out for her bruised and broken children. the forgotten and the outcast. Please, someone, save them, Mother God cries to us. What will our response be? Our Mother, who art in heaven, hallowed be your love.
What have we done for the hungry, the homeless, the lonely ones longing for loving affection, God's chosen people, blessed and holy? What have we done for the hungry here in our midst?
What have we done for the stranger, outsider, the ones who are aching for welcome, acceptance, God's chosen people, blessed and holy? What have we done for the stranger here in our midst?
What have we done for the broken, the grieving, the lost who need someone to listen, to comfort, God's chosen people?